Okay, so today we're going to dive into something pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
48 Laws of Power. Have you heard of this?
Oh yeah, I've come across this. It's one of those titles that just kind of grabs you, right?
It does. It's like, oh, 48 laws. Like, are we talking about physics here? Are we talking about the universe?
Yeah.
What is this?
No, and power too. It's like there's this sort of almost a little bit intimidating.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there are these laws that govern power that I maybe don't know,
Right.
but somebody out there does.
Exactly. So that's what we're going to try to kind of unpack a little bit today. It's like,
Yeah.
what is the core idea here?
Yeah.
When we talk about laws of power, what are we even talking about?
Yeah, and I think one of the things that just jumps out right away is the structure of it, right? 48 laws,
Yeah.
it implies a system, a framework. It's not just like power is this vague thing.
Right.
There are these very specific principles. Well, maybe we could think about it that way.
Yeah, are they principles? Are they rules? Are they observations? Like, how should we even think about
Yeah.
what a law of power is?
And that's a great question, right? Because is it something prescriptive? Like if you do these things, you will gain power.
Right.
Or is it more descriptive? Like these are the things that we observe happening in the world when people are vying for power.
I like that. Prescriptive versus descriptive.
Yeah.
That's a really good way to think about it.
Because it really could be either or both, right? It could be a guidebook for how to gain power, or it could be a way of understanding the dynamics that are already at play.
And I guess the other big question here is like, what even is power?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like we say the words laws of power.
It's so broad.
It's huge, right? Because we could be talking about political power.
Right.
Like the power of governments.
Social power.
Social power.
Influence.
Influence.
Like what?
Right? Like how do you persuade people?
Absolutely.
We could be talking about, I don't know, even personal power.
Yeah.
Like your own self-discipline and your ability to...
Your own agency?
Yeah.
Your ability to make choices.
Exactly. So this term power, it's so broad.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, like, what aspects of power are we even going to touch on here?
Yeah, and I think that's part of what makes the title so intriguing, right?
Yeah.
It leaves it open. It's like, oh, it could be all of these things and maybe more.
So let's think about this idea of codifying power into laws.
Okay, yeah.
What do you think? Like, what are the potential upsides and downsides of trying to, like, put it all into a framework?
Well, I mean, one upside could be clarity, right?
Okay.
If you can understand the principles that are at play, then you can start to make sense of complex situations, right? You can look at history, you can look at current events, you can look at your own life, and maybe see those patterns emerge.
Yeah, like why did this person get this promotion?
Okay, exactly.
Or why did this political movement succeed?
Right.
Or, why am I always the one doing the dishes?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And so it gives you a framework for analyzing those situations.
But on the other hand, like, could it also be dangerous to try to reduce something as complex as human behavior?
Oh, absolutely.
And that,
I mean, the risk there is oversimplification, right?
okay.
Human beings are messy and situations are complicated. And to try to boil it all down to a set of rules, I think there's always a risk of missing the nuances.
It could almost become like a manipulation handbook in the wrong hands, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
If you start thinking of these laws as like ways to control people, that's when it gets a little...
It gets a little dicey, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think even if you're not going that route, right? Even if you're just thinking about it from a more analytical perspective, it can be helpful to have that framework to at least be aware of the dynamics that are at play.
Yeah, and I think for anyone listening, like, think about your own life.
Yeah.
Right? Think about your job.
Yeah.
Think about your relationships. Think about the groups you're part of. Are there these unspoken laws of power at play?
Yeah.
That you could start to identify?
I mean, and history is full of thinkers who have tried to do this right. I mean, Machiavelli is probably the most famous example, right?
Yeah.
He wrote The Prince, which is all about how to gain and maintain power.
So it's not like this is a brand new idea.
No, not at all.
People have been trying to figure this out for centuries.
Yeah.
Right. And I guess that's what's so interesting about this document, 48 Laws of Power.
Right.
Even without knowing the specifics, it's like, oh, it's another attempt to kind of crack the code.
Yeah.
Figure out what those underlying principles are.
Right. And is it even possible, right? Is it possible to have these fixed laws of power?
Right.
Or is it more about understanding the tendencies and being adaptable?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
So I guess the main takeaway here is that this document is suggesting that power in all its different forms does operate according to some kind of identifiable principles.
Yeah, it suggests there's a structure there, whether or not we can fully codify it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And that understanding that structure could be useful.
Could be very useful.
Right, in all kinds of different areas of our lives.
Absolutely.
So the final thought that I want to leave you with today is think about the unspoken laws of power that you see in your own life.
Yeah, what are those patterns?
What are those patterns? Like, what consistently leads to people
gaining influence?
Gaining influence.
Right.
Or losing influence.
Right.
Right? What are the things that just seem to work or not work?
Or backfire.
Yeah. And what would your list of laws of power be?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Right. Because we all have them in a way, even if we haven't articulated them.
We all have our own experiences, our own observations.
So that's something to think about as you go about your day.
It is food for thought, for sure.
It is. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Yes.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.